Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another broadcast, another live stream. We're going to be going over the number 2 overall pick in best ball in Underdog Fantasy. If you're doing a best ball in Underdog Fantasy, the number 2 overall pick is the best pick out there. I don't think it's really a contest, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's a contest. The number 2 pick, I've had 4 picks, I've had 4 drafts at the number 2 spot, and every single time I walk out of the, at the end of the draft, I look at everybody's team, I look at my team, and it just seems like I did so much better than everybody else. Now, last night we did a stream, we did a stream about like 12 hours ago, roughly. Maybe about 11 hours ago. So when we were doing those drafts, we did 3 drafts on the live broadcast or whatever. We did 3 drafts. We got 8, and then we got the number 1 pick. Now, as soon as I got off, I did 2 more drafts off stream, and we got the number 1 pick again, and then we got the number 2 pick. So the very last draft I did, I got the number 2 pick again. And we might have got the best team we've ever drafted. So we're gonna go over the four teams I have at the number 2 pick. I got 4 teams. I'm gonna put them up here, and we're gonna go over them one by one. We're gonna go over each one, what the kind of key similarities are, what the key differences are between the 4 teams. Each team is at the number 2 pick. Let's just put it this way, in this last one we got Burrow in the 4th round, believe it or not. And so when we go over this, I'm pretty much going to show you guys. I mean, look, you're not going to get this on your first try, you're not going to get this on your second try. It took me 4 tries, but it took me about 30 drafts just to get this to happen. But this happened, and this could win me. I mean, this I wouldn't say win, but this could definitely get me to the last week. This could get me to week 18, 17. But you're gonna have to have a team like this. Just trust me on that. So here we go. These are the drafts right here. All right. I put up on the screen here each draft and which one was which. So we got the 11, the 20, the 23, the 30. Hopefully you guys can see this. I know it's a little small on my end. So we got Burrow. We got Burrow with all four of them, right? Now there's some key differences here. Obviously, in the first three, I took Burrow each time with the 26th overall pick. That is the first pick, or it's the second pick in the third round. It's my pick in the third round. So now we did good with the first one here. We got Cousins. We got Kenny Pickett. Okay, that's pretty solid. We got Walker and Charbonnet combo. We got Rachaad White. We got Chase Brown, Vaughn, and Hunt. So, you know, we were a little light here at running back, but we did get the Kenneth Walker, the Charbonnet handcuff, and then we also got Rachaad White, who I'm also pretty high on. Okay, I'm pretty high on Rachaad White this year. So there's going to be other people out there who maybe not quite as high on Rachaad White. I do think Rachaad White is a very good value at his ADP. I think he should be a 6, maybe even a 5th rounder potentially. Rachaad White might be a guy where we look back on at the end of the year and we're like, man, that guy was going in round 7. That guy should have went in like round 5. So now with this one, you know, with the puppy 11, we got Chase, Higgins. We got the Chase Higgins combo with Burrow. This is the only one that we did that with. We also got Kirk. You'll notice I have Mingo. I have Jonathan Mingo on every single team as well, which is we're gonna dive into him a little bit later. But Mingo, I'm really high on Mingo. He's the 4th option on every single team. He's actually the 5th on this one and the 5th or 6th on this one right here. Really, I mean, there's a bunch of. I took a bunch of rookies over here on this last draft last night when we were offline. Now the reason why I like this puppy 11 a lot is because we got Pitts, we got Kmet, we got Dolchich. Okay, we got 3 pretty good receivers. We got Mingo, Reed, and Charlie Jones. We got Charlie Jones on like 3 of these as well. Charlie Jones is a rookie out of Purdue. He's also on the Bengals team. If you don't know about this guy, we're going to go over some of his stats, but I want you in your spare time to go check this guy out. This guy was picked in round 6, I believe, of the draft this year by the Bengals. This guy is a sleeper, in my opinion, as far as some of these rookies go. He wasn't on our sleeper list, but this guy, Charlie Jones out of Purdue, go look at Charlie Jones highlights. Go watch some tape. This guy will shock you, and I think he fits in this offense really, really well. And if you see any kind of injury to Higgins or maybe even Tyler Boyd's getting a little older, you could see this guy jump right into the 3rd wide receiver spot, and he could definitely be of some contribution to this team. Okay, so don't overlook Charlie Jones, and you can get Charlie Jones for free. You can get him for free. I get him in the last, I get him the 2nd to last pick. Like in this draft last night, I believe in this draft, actually, yeah, in 11, 20, and 30, I took Charlie Jones as my last pick, 215. So you can get this guy for free. He's on nobody's radar. Nobody really knows about him, except for maybe me and maybe a couple other people. So he's a really good player to go and get when you get the 2nd pick, because you just stack Burrow and Chase and maybe even a couple other guys. Like I got Higgins here. You could maybe take Boyd in some drafts if you wanted, but I didn't take Boyd. Now in 20 and 30, the key similarities are I took running back. I took running back in the 2nd or the 3rd round. Okay. So I took Breece Hall in 20 instead of taking like somebody like Higgins. Okay. Now obviously I obviously took Burrow here on 20. I took Burrow in the 3rd round in 20, but in 30 here I got him in the 4th round. I went Ramondre Stevenson and Devontae Smith in this one that I did offline. Look, this is how you build a team. You can build a team from the number 2 spot. Especially if you can get Burrow in the 4th round. I only got him in the 4th round on this one that I did offline. Okay, this is super rare. This is super rare. I can't express this enough. More than likely, if you have the 2nd overall pick, if you don't take Burrow in the 3rd round, you're probably not going to see him. His ADP is 41.6 or somewhere around there. I've seen him slide to 45. And I think I seen him slide to 46 the other day, but I've never seen him slide to 47, which is the guy who has the number 2 pick, which is the guy who most likely has Jamar Chase on his team, because Jamar Chase is going 2nd overall behind Jefferson most of the time. Okay, so obviously you can see here in the puppy 30, we got him at 47. This is crazy. Yeah, you can see his ADP on here. It's like 41 point something. I can't read it, but now another similarity, going back to the similarity I had between 20 and 30, we got Alvin Kamara as our 3rd running back. Okay, we got Alvin Kamara as our 3rd running back. I got Kamara. I mean, Kamara just dropped right to me. I kind of played this guy for a fiddle. This guy that was drafting 3rd overall, he had a pick in front of me here. I ended up taking like a couple guys that he needed, and so he was more prone to basically leave Kamara on the board. He was more likely to leave Kamara on the board, and he fell right to me. Same thing with the guy who had the 1 pick, because I think I had 95. The guy who had 1 had 96 and 97, and I took Kamara at 98, I believe. Pretty sure I took Kamara at 98. But it worked out all of my, it just worked out for me because the guy didn't need a running back. I mean, Kamara fell right to me. This is huge value with Kamara. I'm going to tell you exactly why with all these guys. So now in this last one that we did, I mean, I think 20 and 23 are good. Obviously, I reached on Burrow here in the 3rd round. Okay, on every single one of these except for this one I did offline. The flaws in 20 and 23. Let's start with 23, okay? The flaws is kind of the running back room. We got Pierce, we got Swift. We did get Rachaad White at 3, but there's a noticeable difference between Pierce, Swift, and then say somebody like Ramondre Stevenson, which is who I got on 30. Okay, same thing with 20. I got Breece Hall here, Rachaad White, Kamara. I would prefer that running back room over the one I got here in the puppy 23. Okay. Now the reason why 20 could be pretty good is because London and Burks are not bad. We got Mingo. We also got Chase Brown. The only thing that went wrong here with the 30, with the puppy 30 that I did offline, is I didn't get Chase Brown. That was the only thing that went wrong. I got Hawkinson, Freiermuth, Cole Kmet on this puppy 22. It's pretty elite. This whole team from top to bottom is pretty elite. Same thing with 30. 30 we went Pitts. We could have taken Hawkinson, but we took Pitts in 30. Okay. And then we got Cole Kmet. We only went 2 tight ends. We went 3 on the other ones, but I just only went 2 because I wanted to grab a couple extra running backs just in case of an injury or something. Even though they're more than likely not going to contribute much. But we got Pickett on 2 teams. I waited on quarterback after I took Burrow. I didn't take Love until late, like 146 or whatever this is. And then I got Pickett at like 181. So this team is super rare here though at 30. To get Burrow with the second to last pick in the 4th round, it's almost unheard of. It's almost unheard of. I seen somebody do it the other day. Actually, I think I did see somebody take that back. It wasn't the other day. So the draft I did before this, which was the first one that I did offline, I had the number 1 overall pick, and the guy who drafted 3rd overall, he stacked Chase, Higgins, and Joe Burrow. Now he took Derrick Henry in the 3rd round, so that was So really, the difference between his team and my team was I took Stevenson, he took Derrick Henry. Now the guy got Chase at number 3 though. That was the deal. So he got Chase at number 3, he got Burrow at 46. Because what had happened was I took Jefferson, and the guy that was 2nd overall took McCaffrey. So the guy who drafted 3rd, he took Chase, he took Higgins, then he took Henry, and then he got Burrow the fall to him at 46. So he got Burrow in the 4th round as well. But I got him at 47. Look, the difference between like the puppy 30 and the 20 is, you could argue, look, the running back rooms are virtually the same. This one's got Breece Hall and this one's got Stevenson. That's about the only difference. They both have White and Kamara. Here's the difference. This is Chase, London, Burke. So I got London in round 4. I got Devontae Smith here though instead of London in round number 2. 2nd to last pick of round 2. And you might argue Stevenson plays better than Breece Hall this year, potentially, okay? But this is why the number 2 pick is the best pick in the draft. You can't build a roster like this with pick really 3 through 12. You can't do it because you're not going to get Chase more than likely. There's a chance you can do it at 3, but you're going to have to hope that somebody passes on Chase. So we're going to dive into these players. We'll come back to this. Obviously what I did here in the 30, puppy 30, this is really pretty incredible. Like I said, you're going to have to have multiple entries to get something like this. I think the puppy is closed by now. I'm going to look real quick. I'm not 100% sure. It's almost full. There's like 200 entries left. 240 entries left. So if you want to get in a puppy, you better go right now. There will be a puppy 2 and a puppy 3 though. So if you missed out, put it this way, if you missed out,
well, better luck next year.
No, I'm just kidding. There's going to be a puppy 2 though and a puppy 3 though later down the line. All right, let's go into these players here. So we're gonna go over pretty much all the players that we drafted. I'm gonna try to be quick about this. Joe Burrow, here he is. All right, these are metrics from last year. These are stats from last year. Some are more important than others. Look, red zone accuracy, he's number 5. Deep ball accuracy rating, number 2. This is at the position, okay? This is at his position. This is against all the other quarterbacks. Now his pressure rate is not good, okay? Let me pull up this other one real quick as well. This is the accuracy. But deep ball catchable pass rate 7. That's pretty good. Now his clean pocket accuracy is pretty good. His under pressure accuracy is pretty good. So that's good. Granted, his his line's really not the best, but it just shows you it doesn't matter. He can still perform under pressure or if he's got a clean pocket. Deep ball accuracy rating, 2nd best in the league last year. Red zone accuracy, top 5 in clean pocket accuracy. This guy should not be going around 4. Okay, let's just put it this way. You see these numbers? He shouldn't be going around 4. He should not be going around 4, especially at the end of round 4. I stole this guy, committed highway robbery by getting this guy at the 47th overall pick. Highway robbery. Okay? This guy should not be going at the end of round 4. Especially when I stack Chase and Higgins, or if I stack Chase and I go get Devontae Smith or Chris Olave, whoever. That should not be happening. All right. Oh, I knew I messed this up here. All right, let me move this down real quick. All right. So his efficiency and his productivity here. The efficiency, like I said, there are some that are more important than others. The important ones are, you know, adjusted yards per attempt, so that's good. Top 10, he's top 10 there. Fantasy points per game, top 5, obviously. We're tracking on that. We know he was efficient last year, so, you know, a lot of this stuff is kind of just, you know, eye candy to a degree. But his productivity here, his air yards, you'd like to see him a little higher in air yards. I think you might see him be a little higher in air yards this year. Same thing with money throws. You'd like to see him a little higher with money throws. Passing yards of last year, he was top 5. Look for him to be top 5 again, maybe even top 3. Pressure throws, you know, he's not the greatest, but, and same thing with danger plays. You'd like to see a little less of these danger plays and interceptable passes. That doesn't mean they got intercepted. It just means they were, let's just say, a little bit off target throws. Second overall in passing touchdowns for the whole year. This guy's elite. He's really all pro. He's probably a top 3 quarterback in the league. I still think he could be top 2, really, realistically. If you're just talking about playing the position, not really fantasy points. But I'm telling you, look for this guy to win. You know, I think he's going to win MVP. I think he probably finishes top 2. There's a chance this guy's the number 1 QB in the league this year in fantasy. I mean, Mahomes misses a couple of games or Allen misses a couple of games. This guy will easily pass both of them. Maybe Mahomes has a little bit of a down year this year. Who knows? I think Allen could have a little bit of a down year. They're talking about him running less. So, look, I think Burrow. Look, this guy should not be going at the end of the 4th round. The fact that I got him at 47th overall, it allows me to do this right here. It allows me to make this team right here, the Puppy 30. This is the one we're really looking at. Obviously, I have these other ones comparable, you know, but I didn't get Burrow. I didn't take the chance and try to get Burrow in round 4 in these other ones. I did last night after I got off the stream last night. It was tough for me to pass on him at the 3rd pick. It was really tough, but I told myself, I was like, look, I'm gonna pass on him and let's just see if he falls to 47. And wouldn't you know it, he did. I needed one guy to pass on him. It was the guy at the 3rd overall pick, I believe. He was picking right in front of me at 46. The guy at 44 and 45 already had a quarterback, so we were pretty much set. And then once I seen the guy passed on him at 46, I was cashing in. I was celebrating. So, so let's go back here to Burrow. Look, I'm not gonna hit too much on him. Look, his metrics right here for his opportunity and his his pass accuracy, it's as good as it really gets. It doesn't matter if he's got clean pocket or if he's under pressure. He's a very good thrower of the football. Very good accuracy rating. Red zone accuracy is really good as well. So, these are the same ones. Why do I have the same ones? All right. moving on. Let's just go to Pickett. So Pickett's my number 2 quarterback on a couple of these teams. I do want to go over Pickett and show you why there's good value with Pickett. Pickett you can get at like 172. That's roughly Kenny Pickett's ADP. It's like 172. So this is Kenny Pickett's opportunities here. He struggled a little bit last year. He made some mistakes. He was a rookie last year. I do expect him to make a pretty progressive jump as far as being a better quarterback. Look for him to be, you know, anywhere in the ballpark of maybe 15th overall, like the 15th best quarterback in fantasy. There's a chance for that. Obviously, I have him ranked as like a low in QB2, high in QB3. But there's potential with him. He's got really good protection rate. You know, his pass attempts could get a little better. It is almost top 20. So now, granted, he sat behind Trubisky for I think a couple of games, if I'm not mistaken, and then they yanked Trubisky. So expect that to increase a little bit. Moving down here, we got the red zone accuracy rating. That needs to get better. But look at his deep ball accuracy, under pressure accuracy. I mean, it's pretty crazy that his clean pocket accuracy rating is 25th. But when he's under pressure and he's throwing it deep, he can land a deep ball. Deep ball catchable pass rate. This one's very important. This is when the quarterback throws the ball deep. What is the percent likelihood of it being a catchable ball? Okay, these are big play. These are big yardage plays that we're talking about. Down the field, when he throws it down the field, I believe deep ball is 20 plus yards. It's 20 yards and more. So his deep ball catchable pass rate, it was first in the NFL last year. Almost 76%. Pressured catchable pass rate, first in the NFL. If this guy can just do the little things when he's got the clean pocket, you see he's got the clean pocket here. His clean pocket accuracy, it's 25th. It can get better. Well, it's like when he's got pressure on him, he's a better quarterback. Catchable pass rate, second in the league. That's how catchable is his pass for every single pass for the whole year. He has the highest catchable, or second highest catchable pass rate. This is why this guy can be kind of a sleeper. Look, when you have this and you know, the deep ball catchable pass rate, the pressured catchable rate, and then you have a guy like George Pickens, who's a very good deep ball receiver, who's also, we're going to get into Pickens as well. We will show him up here as well. But that's gonna, you put these two guys together with these metrics that you know from last year. And remember, they were both rookies last year. They're going to get better. Efficiency, obviously, he needs to get better in the efficiency department, right? Adjusted yards per attempt, 33rd, that's not good. That needs to come up. His air yards could come up a little bit as well. Going down to productivity here, we got, you know, he's got the second most danger plays. That's not good. Second most interceptable passes, obviously. So those need to come down. Those are gonna come down though as he matures. Okay, as he matures, those are gonna come down. Look for this guy to take I'm hoping he takes a pretty considerable step. Okay, pretty considerable step forward. And being a more mature quarterback, being a better quarterback who doesn't really throw the Jameis Winston balls, okay? That's what I like to call it. You know, he needs to get away from playing Jameis Winston football. Let's just put it that way. But going back to these drafts, He's our third guy. We got Love. We took Love before him. Obviously, we got Burrow in all these drafts right here. And then obviously in the first one, the puppy 11 over here on the left side, we took him as our third guy behind Cousins. This is where you want the guy. You don't want him to be your first QB. You really don't want him to be your second QB. He's not my second QB on either of these two teams. So, but he's worth a shot. And he might provide a game or two here or there. You know, really, like in this one, I expect Cousins and Burrow to do all the work. I'm banking on Burrow to do a lot of the work here at 30, but there might be a game where Love or Pickett, you know, kick in a little bit. So this is why I wanted to go. You know, I wanted to go over Pickett though briefly here because once again, going back to these first two. There's opportunities. The deep ball catchable pass rate, number 1. The pressured catchable pass rate, number 1. Catchable pass rate, number 2 overall in the league last year. And when he's under pressure and his deep ball accuracy rating, they're almost top 5. So there's plenty of upside with this guy. Don't go get him as your number 1 QB, but go get him. Go get him late. I mean, you get him for, you know, his ADP is like 172. So, all right, now we're going to move into the receivers. Obviously, Jamar Chase is on all of these teams, right? He's one that we put eggs in his basket for these 4 drafts. Okay, we went with the Burrow Chase stack. And then we have Higgins, obviously, on one of those teams as well. Look, man, this guy missed 5 games last year. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Obviously, he's one of our nuclear players. We did a nuclear video on him. We talked about why. We talked about you know, the games that he missed. What he provided for your team though in the 12 games that he did play. This guy is getting ready to take off. I can't stress this enough. There's a reason he's going number 2 overall in all these best ball drafts. I mean, if he would have played those 5 games last year, you got to think the Buffalo game got canceled, and then he had 4 games where he sat out in the middle of the season, and the bye week was actually in between all 4 of those games, so he really took 5 weeks off, and then he missed a Buffalo game on top of it. If he has those 5 games, he's competing with Jefferson for the most yards. You know, he's competing for the receiving trophy basically at the end of the year. I think it was Tyreek Hill that actually had the most receiving yards, but Jefferson was a close second. He would have been right there with Hill and Jefferson. Okay, can this guy stay healthy though? Can he get a full season in? I think this is the year. He did get a full season in his rookie year, but it was his rookie year. Really, I mean, he finished top 5 in fantasy his rookie season, but he only caught 81 balls. This is the year he catches like 100 balls or more. Really, if I had to put a number on it, I want to say about 110, 115. But he hasn't eclipsed 90 receptions in a year yet. I think he goes over 100. I don't know what the bet is out there. I don't know what the prop bet is on receptions for this guy, for Jamar Chase for the year, but if it's not 100 or if it's around 100, take the over. Just take the over. 14th in targets, so we want that to be higher this year. This is the year it's going to be high. I mean, he missed 5 games and he was still almost top 12, which top 12 is a number 1 receiver in fantasy, right? Target share. This is the target share for the team. Remember, we talked about this. If they're at about 25%, that's really good. That's really good. 25% target share, that's really good. He's almost a 30. 6th best in the league at the wide receiver position. Target rate overall, 13th. Like I said, expect this really to go up maybe. Expect this to go up. It really just depends, maybe if we have some guys that miss time, if Higgins misses some time maybe, or Boyd misses some time. Snap share 5%, or fifth best, 93.1%. That's really good. Route participation. Number 1 in the league, 100%. That's what we want. Air yards, his air yards need to come up. His air yards are 24th best in the league. We'd like to see those come up. Now, look, a lot of this stuff, this could be down a little bit, like I said, because he missed 5 games last year. Really, his air yard share is where we want to look, because this is kind of an average. So instead of being 24 for the air yards, his share 36.6%. That's really good. Top 10. So look, this air yards would have been up more if he didn't miss 5 games. So don't look too much into that. If he played all 17 games and it was here, it'd be a different conversation. Deep targets, hopefully those come up, but it doesn't really matter because this guy, you can't game plan for him really. And you know, look, he can take a slant to the house. He can take a wide receiver screen to the house. So the deep targets, I'm not too worried about. He's still getting about 1 per game now, which is good. You know, that's not the greatest, but it's still decent. Red zone targets, 3rd best in the league, man. I can't stress this enough. This guy is really good. He's worth the number 2 overall pick, okay? We haven't even gotten to his production and his efficiency. So, catchable target rate, we'd like to see this increase a little bit. But as much as he gets the ball thrown to him, there's gonna be a little error here. He's not gonna be 100%. All right, let's get to his efficiency and his productivity here. Receptions. Look, he missed 5. Look, this is why I'm going to keep making this case about him missing 5 games. He was still top 12. He missed 5 games and he's still top 12 in receptions. This guy's easily going over 100 yards if he plays all 17 games this year. Easily. It's like it's basically a lock. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what that prop bet is. Whatever it is, though, if it's not 100, just take the over. It's free money. Receiving yards, obviously a little down. Yards after the catch could be a little better. That's still not bad, though. Total touchdowns, he was 4th best in the league, and he missed 5 games. This guy is a... Look, when Burrow is dropping back to the pass, he's looking for this guy 9 times out of 10. They're looking for Jamar Chase every time. Higgins will get a couple every now and then, but Jamar Chase is he's the guy. I mean, he was expected to be number 1 last year in fantasy points right here per game. Little bit down, but air yards. Once again, did I put the wrong one on? I did put the wrong one on here, I think. No. His air yards, look, this is gonna come up. Yeah, I did put the wrong one on here, didn't I? I put the same one. All right, let's move on. Anyway, look, Chase, go get him. Just go get Chase. Just go get Chase. Go get Burrow, stack him. Look, right here, stack them. If you're ever so lucky like I was to get Burrow with the 2nd to last pick in the 4th round, then this is the kind of team you can create right here. This team that I have over here, the Puppy 30, this is going to be hard to beat for a lot of people. Just like week in and week out for the most part. I even was looking at bye weeks. I was making sure I didn't have a lot of the, any players on the same bye week. Unfortunately, Stevenson and Kamara are on the same bye week 11. But, maybe, hopefully Jeff Wilson maybe does something for me that week. Or, Jalen Warren, but or Kareem Hunt, who knows? We don't even know where Kareem Hunt's gonna be. If Kareem Hunt ends up in Cincinnati, I might really luck out. But this team right here is gonna be hard to beat. Same thing with really the 20 and the 11, the Puppy 20. Those teams are gonna be tough to beat as well. I don't feel as good about 23 because of my running back room. I did better in the running back department on the other ones. All right, let's move on to some of these. So we do have some of these other receivers on these teams. I'm gonna go over them briefly, why I took them. So Devontae Smith I had in the puppy 30. I got him with the 2nd round pick. Then we took Stevenson with the 3rd, and then we got Burrow with the 4th, which is crazy. I know a lot of you guys are like, no way. Let's go over Smith though. Let's go over Devontae Smith. All right, Devontae Smith, here he is. Boom. Targets, he was right behind Chase. Chase was 12th, he was 13th. Target share, once again, target share is very important. 25% is what we want. Anything over, it's pretty much, you know, it's just extra at that point. So 27%, and he's competing with AJ Brown. If AJ Brown misses time, this guy's going to be a steal. Devontae Smith will be a steal if AJ Brown misses time. His target share is going to go from 27% to in the 30s somewhere. 30, you know, maybe as high as 35 potentially. 35 would be crazy, but it could go there if AJ Brown misses some time. AJ Brown made it through the season last year without injury for the most part. I don't feel as confident that he does it again. I think he misses maybe a couple games here or there. I don't wish any ill will upon him, but he's always he you know, back when he was in Tennessee, he always had like 3 or 4 games that he missed because of knee issues, his knees. So look out for this guy. That's all I'm gonna say. Look out for Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith could be a steal. That's why I took him though in the 2nd round. Olave went like a couple picks before, so I kind of had to take him. I could have taken Higgins, but I knew I already had Higgins on the other team, so I wanted to go Devontae Smith, try something different. Routes ran, he was top 20. Route participation, remember Chase was number 1. This guy's top 10 too. This guy's top 10. So when this guy's on the field, he's running a route. That's basically what that means. When he's on the field, he's running a route. Once again, the air yards could hopefully go a little higher. He's still top 20, which isn't bad. Like I said, considering he's the number 2 guy, or really, he's the Robin to Batman, right? Considering that considering that being top 20 air yards isn't bad. He will catch some deep balls though. AJ Brown is also a deep ball receiver, so that's, he's probably taking a little bit of his his targets and his air yards and everything else. Red zone targets, like you'd like to see. Look, he had 13 targets, he caught 8 of them. Top 30. We'd like to see that number increase a little bit. Catchable target rate. This is really good. Top 5. Target quality rating, 6. So the target quality rating is like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that is the quality from the quarterback. So a lot of his targets are very catchable. To just say it, put it Barney style, it's very catchable ball every time he gets the ball thrown to him. Same thing with his target rate, his catchable target rate. So he's hauling in, the catchable target rate means he's hauling in 90% of his targets that were catchable. So he had 136 targets, only 123 of them were catchable, according to analytics. He caught 90% of those. That's good for top 5. So, the targets are good. The target catchable rate is better because it's going to factor out balls that were not catchable, balls that were thrown out of bounds, balls that were thrown short. So when the ball's there and it's catchable, he's a good guy you can rely on. Efficiency and productivity here. So efficiency, target accuracy, that could be a little better. That's really on the quarterback though. You'd like to see that number to be you want that number to be 8. It's 7.6, so it's close. It's not terrible. It's close. You want to see that number to be 8 though. 8 or higher is like really good for the target accuracy. Yards per target, he's top 24, so that's really kind of the top 24 receivers, which would be the first and second round receivers. It would be the low end receiver 1, mid end receiver 1, the high end receiver 1, and then same thing with the receiver 2s on fantasy. So the reason why the yards per target isn't higher, like I said, is because of AJ Brown. AJ Brown is, they're sending AJ Brown deep more often, I think, than they are Devontae Smith. I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure. So his productivity, he was top 10 in receptions this year or last year, top 10 in receiving yards per catch. Unrealized air yards is basically total air yards minus his actual receiving yards. So it's not going to be high. Usually it's going to be, so the unrealized air yards, the guy who's going to have the most, who's going to be number 1, is the guy who, think of DJ Moore. Think of DJ Moore. Think of a really good receiver that has a horrible quarterback. That runs a lot of deep routes. DJ Moore, I believe, is number 1, if I'm not mistaken. Now he's in Chicago, so that's why DJ Moore, like if I do have DJ Moore's metrics, but I'm not going to show them in this live stream because I already had enough guys to go through. But I'll show DJ Moore another time. But DJ Moore, like his unrealized air yards, is like through the roof because he's had horrible quarterbacks his whole career. And really, if you go back the last 2 years, DJ Moore has been one of the leading candidates in unrealized air yards because his quarterback sucks. If you have a good quarterback, this number's not going to be super high. So, which is a good thing. You don't want it to be super high. But when it is super high and say a player's number 1 in unrealized, that means like if he had a better quarterback, he could be really good, essentially. Total touchdowns, hopefully he gets this into like 10, the 10 range. 7's not bad, but it's good for top 15, but you'd like to see him maybe catch a few more this year. So, look, that's Devontae Smith. He's got very, very good potential this year, especially if AJ Brown misses time. And that's why I took him in the second round. So it would have been tough to take Olave, but Olave and Smith would have been the guys. So, all right, the next guy I want to go over is Pickens. We have Pickens. We actually got Pickens in this draft. This puppy 30. We got Pickens as our third guy down here underneath Smith. So we got Smith and we got Pickens and we got Chase. I mean, we were just, what we were doing that draft? Just robbing people.
Robbery in progress.
So this is why I like Pickens, though. Right here, we're gonna pull up his opportunity. Targets 85. Route participation over here on the far right here. Top far right, 91.2%. That's top 25. This guy's numbers are Pickens' numbers are going to increase this year. He's a rookie last year. I believe he kind of started. I don't know if he started right out the gate. He started early though. He did start like week 2 or week 3. They started giving him more time as the season progressed. But they worked him in. Trubisky was the starter also. Pickett ended up coming in, I believe, like week 4, I believe. So the chemistry, he didn't have the chemistry built up. He was just being you know, thrown into the offense every now and then they started giving him more time as the season progressed. So his numbers aren't the greatest, obviously, but they're going to increase. There's a couple telltale signs looking through the opportunity and also through the efficiency and the productivity that this guy could be really good down the line. So targets, like I said, 85. You know, that's top 50. That's not the greatest. The target share you'd like to see increase, obviously. Remember Chase, Smith, they're 27 and 29% respectively. This guy's only 15.6%. So, you know, 12% in the red zone. You'd like to see this get to about, you know, I'm not going to say he's going to get 25%. You know, that's kind of a fantasy world. They would be nice, but I don't see it happening really maybe until maybe another year or so, maybe 2024. This year, we're hoping it gets around 18 to 20%. If it gets into like 21 or 22, we'll take that too, obviously. But, you know, 15 is not bad considering that he got off to a slow start. They didn't have him in the lineup right away. I do think he is the number one guy. He's going to be the number one guy eventually. Maybe it's still Johnson, but Pickett likes this guy. This is the thing I like about Pickens, is that Pickett likes throwing the ball to Pickens. If you've watched any Steelers games last year, Pickett's looking for this guy more so than Johnson. I know Allen Robinson came over. I don't care about him at all. He's pretty much irrelevant. I could care less. It doesn't make me want to not draft Pickens. Look, routes ran. Look, when this guy's on the field, he runs routes. Route participation is top 25. His routes ran were almost top 15 in the league. This is every single receiver from last year. This guy was a rookie. This guy didn't play. He didn't put up big numbers really, and he didn't play right out of the gate that much. So, air yards. This is where this guy thrives, though. Air yards and deep targets, red zone targets should increase, but his ADOT, his deep targets, and really his target quality. These are what stand out. The air yards, look, considering that he's top 20 in air yards, that's really good considering really how much time he played. I almost want to look, see how much time he played last year. He did not play that much last year to start the season. I know he didn't. I'm going to double check this real quick. Yeah, he didn't play as much as people think. He caught one ball week 2. He caught one ball he caught one ball week 1 and week 2. His snap percentages are 71, 85, 76, 70, 76, 83, 79, 86. So he's not really, he didn't touch 90%. So they went to the bye week 9. He played 75% week 10. 86, 78, 68, 76, 66, 81, 73, 63. Look for his snap percentages to be like 80% and above pretty much every game this year. He had a couple of 60s, low 70s. Really, I mean, wish there was an average. I want to say his average is around like 74, 75% maybe, give or take. That's about what his snap percentage was. That's going to be in the 85 to 90 range consistently this year. The guy only caught 52 balls. He didn't catch very many balls. That's funny. They got 84 targets here, but it says 85 over here. He only caught 4 touchdowns. 52 catches and 801 yards. That's 15.4 yards a target, or a catch. 15.4 yards a catch. That is elite stuff. That's the big playability that we're talking about. That's what you want to see with these receivers. Receivers that have that yards per catch that's over pretty much 13 and a half roughly. This guy had 15.4 with Pickett, and Pickett can probably play better this year. He probably will play better this year, I would hope. This guy's a big play waiting to happen basically every time he steps on the field. You look at the deep targets, 7th most. This guy had 52 catches, okay? 52. That's not very many for like an NFL receiver that's elite. Okay? 52 catches, 28 targets. So 28 of his 85 targets, or 84, whatever it is, those were deep targets. 1.6 a game. That's almost 2 a game, really. That's really good. His average depth of target distance, 3rd best in the league. They're sending this guy deep. They're sending this guy 15 yards down the field. That's what we want to see for a 3rd receiver. I mean, this guy's the 3rd receiver on my team. Let's go back. This guy's the 3rd receiver on my team. This guy has upside through the roof. A lot of people don't know this stuff because they don't look into these, these advanced stats. There's a lot of telltale signs when you look at some of this stuff. His target quality, top 5. That's really good. That's what we want to see. Let's go to his efficiency and his productivity here. Yards per target was top 15. Yards per reception, top 12. That's pretty good as a rookie who, I mean, he finished outside the top 30 in fantasy rankings last year at wide receiver. 52 catches on 85 targets. Really, like, I mean, 52 catches for 800 yards. That's you're getting some deep balls. You have to be, because that's really, to get that many yards on only 52 catches is pretty good. So he's a deep ball playmaker, a big playmaker. He's waiting to catch a deep ball basically. But he's got pretty good speed as well, so and he's a big guy. I think he's like about 6'4". He's 6'4". Really, he's like him and you think him and AJ Brown and I guess Mingo, the rookie, they're kind of the closest guys to a DK Metcalf, really, for the most part, as far as the play style goes. This guy actually has a little, he's got shades of DK. He plays very similar. He's physical, big, and he's fast. So when you got a guy that's physical, big, and fast at receiver, they are a problem in the NFL. They're a problem to deal with. Cornerbacks don't want to mess with them. They don't want to tackle them whenever they do catch the ball, and they have a hard time. They have a hard time press coveraging them as well, because they can just physically push them out of the way. They just push them out of the way. So you get a guy who's big, physical, and fast, and who can also run routes really good. Those guys are like unguardable. Those are like the Terrell Owens, players of the, at the receiver position. Those guys are like unguardable. There's, you just try to hold him under 100 yards. Like, okay, he got 90 yards and, a touchdown. That's a success basically for, a cornerback whenever they're matched up against these guys. That's what this guy will eventually become. It's not going to be maybe this year. Obviously, last year he was, he had some growing pains, but this year he's going to take another step forward. And then even down the line, if you have this guy in Dynasty, if you have him in Keeper, I would hang on to him if you can. He could be a special player. Obviously, Pickett needs to pick up his game, though. If Pickett can pick up his game, this guy can be really good. Johnson and Allen Robinson's going to be 30. Deontay Johnson, I think, is like 28. He's getting a little old. They're only going to be around for so long. So our next receiver is Chris Olave. So we got Chris Olave on one of our teams here. Let me go back. Chris Olave, we took him the puppy 23. So you know, this is why I went Devontae Smith in this last one, because I knew I had Olave on this one. I knew I had Higgins on the other one. I do like Olave this year. I've got him at other picks, not just the number 2 pick. I've got him with trying to think off like if I've had the 8th overall pick, I've taken him. If I've had a pick number 8 in the first round, I've taken him with several, like pick number 7 as well. I believe I've taken him in the 2nd round. We're not talking first round, we're talking 2nd round. So I've had the 7th or the 8th pick, and I've turned around and taken him in the 2nd round with my next pick. Chris Olave, this receiver, I'm going to show you exactly why you should go get this guy as well. There's a reason why this guy's going at the end of the 2nd round. Let's look at his opportunity shares here. Targets top 20. As a rookie, top 20. Target share over 25%, 26.7%. That's top 15 in the league. That's really good for a rookie. There's only been a handful to do it over the last few years. Obviously, Jefferson and Chase are 2. We know about those guys. I think London might be in this category too. I haven't really taken a look at London's. I'm pretty sure it is though. There's only a handful really. This is really good though. 20% in the red zone as well. Target rate top 10, almost 30%. It really did. I think this is going to get better now that Derek Carr's in town. Andy Dalton, I'm not too high on Andy Dalton or Derek Carr, but I do think Derek Carr's better. Okay, so give me, you know, look, this guy, go get shares of this guy somewhere, you know, in some leagues, and you can get him as your number 2 receiver for the most part. You should be taking this guy as your number 2 receiver every time, really. I'm always going receiver in the 1st round for the most part, so if I take him in the 2nd round, he's usually my 2nd receiver in fantasy. I mean, look at this. Air yards, top 10. Olave is a deep threat monster in the NFL. Deep threat monster. He's got sub 4.4 speed. He's a pretty good route runner coming out of college. He's only going to get better as his career, you know, progresses. Air yard share 40.8%. That's top 3. His ADOT is top 10. That's average depth of target. That means how far are they down the field when they receive a target. You know, anything close to 15 is really good. Obviously, you've seen what Pickens had. He had a little bit more than Olave, but deep targets 29. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because there's people that don't know this stuff. There's people out there that don't know this stuff, and I take this guy in like every draft, and I just sit there and laugh because I'm like, well, you know, it's like, oh, I got a bunch of him on a lot of these teams. You know, it'll suck if he gets hurt. I mean, obviously, I'll be a little down. I'm gonna keep him in my keeper league. I have him. I paid about $11 for him in the auction league. I'll keep him for 16. He's going to be one of my keepers this year in my main fantasy league that I do, you know, offline. But deep targets 29. This is as a rookie, by the way. And anybody out there that wants to come in with some Mike Thomas nonsense, Mike Thomas is done. This guy's the future. He's the number 1 guy. The owner knows that, you know, even the owner knows that. The owner knows that. The whole organization knows that this is the number 1 guy. Nobody's worried about Mike Thomas, okay? He's going to be injured probably the rest of his career because he's injury plagued. So I would be drafting Rashid Shaheed over this guy. Rashid Shaheed is also on the Saints. I would be drafting him over this guy, or over Mike Thomas. So we're not worried about Mike Thomas at all if we're Chris Olave owners, or Shaheed owners for that matter. Red zone targets, this could come up This isn't very good. This will come up though. This will come up. Target quality rating, it's top 15. It's not bad. His catchable target rate, this needs to get better. He had some drops, right? He had 119 targets. Only 90 of them were catchable, and he only caught 75% of them. So this can get better. But I'll try to defend this. The way I would defend this is that, look, he's you've seen it with Pickens, okay? You've seen it with Pickens. You're gonna see it with this guy. You're gonna see it with anybody who's getting deep targets. The deep balls are harder to catch. They just are. So a guy who's getting a bunch of deep targets, like Olave, like Pickens, maybe I'm trying to think of somebody else, maybe Tyreek Hill, their catchable target rate is gonna be down. It's not gonna be as good as like what Devontae Smith's was, because they're receiving more deep targets, so they're gonna have more balls that are harder to catch than a receiver who's not going deep as often. So that's why I'm just, that's how I would defend that. I'm saying like, oh, that's why it's that bad. But like we would all of us who are Olave owners would like to see this increase a little more, get better. So let's go to his productivity and his efficiency. Look, efficiency wise, top 10 in yards per route run. That's good. Yards per reception, that could get a little better, but it's almost top 20. His true catch rate, 80%. That could get better. Receptions should increase as well this year. Look down here on the left, productivity. His receptions it's going to increase. 72 is, especially for 119 targets. Because that's actually a lot of targets for a rookie, his rookie year. Remember Chase, I'm trying to think of how many targets Chase had. Chase didn't have very many targets his first 2 years. He didn't have 119. I know that. I know last year he had like 136, but his first year he didn't have 119. He had, oh, maybe he did. He had 128. But that's what I'm saying. Chase 128, 134 last year. You get a rookie receiver that can get 115 targets or more their first year. They are big time. They're usually big time. They're being targeted that way for a reason. So unrealized air yards once again. So this is a guy who could have a better quarterback, right? Unrealized air yards is 5th most in the league at receiver. That's because Andy Dalton sucks. Okay. Now I don't like Carr much better, but he's gonna be a little better. Okay, Derek Carr's gonna be a little better at throwing the deep ball, hopefully. Adams did pretty well last year with Derek Carr, even though Derek Carr missed the last 2 games. But you go back and look at Adams, Devontae Adams' stats. They were actually pretty good. And Adams runs a lot of deep balls as well, or deep routes, catches a lot of deep balls as well. This guy's younger and faster. Hopefully, let's just hope Carr plays really good this year. Let's just hope he bounces back a little bit. If he does, Olave is going to have a really good year. Really good year. Either way, the volume's going to be there for this guy. Even if Carr doesn't play quite as well as we want, the volume's there. So you don't really have much to worry about. The only thing you got to worry about is him getting injured, but I'm not worried about some of these elite receivers who are very good route runners, very good catchers of the football, and get a high volume of work. I'm not really worried about them getting injured. They're not running backs. That's why a lot of these receivers are just flying off the board round 1 and 2, because people are worried about the running backs and the receiving group that we have in the NFL right now, it's so good. It's really, it's one of the better ones we've seen in recent years. So, all right, let's move on. I believe we got one. We got two more receivers, and we're gonna get into the running back. So the next receiver is Drake London. We do have London on one team, at least one of these teams that we drafted second overall. We have him on a ton of other teams as well. Where's he at? He's over here. He's the puppy 20. We got London and Burks as our 2 and 3. Burks is our next guy we're gonna go over as well. These guys were all rookie receivers last year. They're going into year 2 this year. Okay. So we just went over Olave. Now I want to go over London, and then we're going to go over Burks, and then we're going to jump into the running backs real quick. All right, Drake London. Let's look at his opportunity shares here. Targets 117. That's 2 behind Olave. Olave was 21st. He's 22nd. So they're almost inside the top 20. Target share. Here we go. He's top 5, dude. He's top 5. He's the only guy. It's him and Pitts. And if you go and we have Pitts' numbers as well, but it's Pitts in London, and that is it. Like, if Pitts is on the field or if London is on the field, those are the, like, you can pretty much guess 98% of the time that's where the ball is going to go if the Falcons are passing the ball, which I know they lean on the run heavy, but when they do pass the ball, this guy is highly involved, and so is Pitts. And then everybody else is just kind of irrelevant on that team. This could come down a smidge because of Bijan. Bijan is a decent receiving running back, actually a very good receiving running back. But it's not going to dip below 25%, okay? It's not going to dip below 25%, which is where, as long as it's there, it's actually higher, 32% here in the red zone, so that's good. He's a big target. He's 6'4", so target rate, 32.4%, second best in the league. He did this as a rookie. Snap share, you'd like to see that go up a little more, but route participation, it's decent. It's almost 90%. The snap share doesn't really, I know it's 39th, but these guys run the ball a lot, okay? So there's a good chance a lot of plays when they're running the ball, they just take him out and they put in a blocking receiver. When he's in, he's running routes, though, for the most part. He might block every now and then, but I guarantee you some of this isn't in the 80s because of, you know, they run the ball so much. They probably yank him out of there and let somebody else go block. Maybe, you know, he's probably not the best. He's a decent blocking receiver, but, you know, they got other receivers on the roster that they, you know, really they're hired to do that. So air yards, he's almost top 20. Air yardage share, this could be better. We'd like to see, you know, like 35% or higher, really. But 30% is not bad. It's still top 24. His AD, his A dot, you know, it can get better. Like I said, we'd like to see 14 or 15. This is 10.7. But he's a volume guy, and you got to think he can run the deep route, but he's more of a guy who's running slants, ins, outs, posts. He's not running the 9 route as much as some of these other receivers. Like Olave is going to run the 9 route more than he will. So will Pickens. They got a little bit more burner speed than London does. London's a possession receiver. He's a possession receiver who is just, he's built to just go catch like 15 balls a game. Okay, it doesn't matter how far they are. He's just built to just catch 10 to 15 balls a game. Or, you know, really 10, you know, about 10 balls a game, but he's built to get about 15 targets a game. However many he brings in is obviously can Depend on how good the quarterback's playing, but so deep targets 15, not much. He's not really a deep guy, but he's a guy who's going to catch a lot of balls. He's going to get a lot of targets. He's going to get a lot of volume. So target quality rating, it's not the best. Obviously, he had Mariota. Ritter, we hope Ritter plays better this year. He didn't play very great, I didn't think, at the end of the year last year. Of course, he was a rookie as well, so look, catchable target rate, it's not the greatest, but put that on his quarterback, man. I put that on his quarterback for the most part. Efficiency and productivity here. So the target accuracy, like I said, we want to see this at about 8 or higher. It's 7.5. That's really his quarterback, though. That's how accurate are the targets coming his way. Okay, so that's really on his quarterback. 8's a good number. Anything higher than 8's pretty good. So it's close, but that's why it's 37th in the league. And this could change. Like Pitts' target accuracy could be much better than his, and they have the same quarterback, right? Like somebody on the same team as him could have a better target accuracy because maybe that quarterback just throws better balls to a particular player because maybe they don't run the same routes. They run shorter routes or whatever, maybe. So don't get confused if you see like, oh, like we're going to go over Kyle Pitts. If his target accuracy is higher, don't get confused. Like, why is it higher than London's? They have the same quarterback. That's because the quarterback was throwing more accurate balls to Pitts than they were to London. Put it that way. Yards per target, this needs to get up like at least to 10 or 11. It would be great. Yards per reception isn't terrible. Remember, 15 is like really good. 13.5 is actually good. Anything above 13.5 is really good. 15 is outstanding. True catch rate, not the greatest. You know, I'm putting a lot of this on his quarterback, okay? I'm putting a lot of this on his quarterback. If the quarterback can play better this year, this guy's numbers are going to come up. They're going to come up. So reception 72, not terrible. I believe that's the same amount of catches that Olave had. Olave also had 72. So you look for him to get about at least break 1,000 receiving yards this year. He was still almost top 25 though at 866. This guy was getting to work, man, down the season. In the latter half of the season, he was getting to work. He was getting the targets. Pulling up his game log now. From week, look, he got off to a rough start, but from week 13 and on, week 13, 12 targets. Then they had to bye. Week 15, 11 targets, 9 targets, 8 and 8 to finish off the season. And he only caught 4 touchdown passes. So Drake London he's a little bit of a dark horse. I do think he's being drafted a smidge high. I would like to get him in round 6, but it's just not gonna happen, man. People are high on this guy for a reason, so it's gonna be tough to get him any later than round 5, really. Our last receiver, Treylon Burks. Remember, we drafted this guy with Drake London and Jamar Chase here, the puppy 20. I'll go over DJ Moore another day. I don't have his stuff pulled up. I have it, but I just don't have him ready to go. Let's just put it that way. I don't have Kirk ready to go either. But we pretty much have talked about everybody. I mean, I don't have Higgins either, but we know what Higgins is. Higgins is the Robin to Chase's Batman. This is gonna work out fine on the puppy 11 team. Higgins also commands a pretty good target share. I don't know if it's quite 25, but it's close. if I had to guess. So back to Burks, though. Let's look at his opportunity shares. Look, these aren't going to be the greatest because, again, his quarterback's terrible. Hopefully his quarterback plays better this year. Maybe Will Levis comes in at some point, so there's always that. This is why I only got him on one of the teams, though. Just, you know, I wanted to go a different route. I had to go a different route. Whenever we got this last draft in the morning, we ended up going Pickens, and then we went Flowers. Of course, Burks was already off the board. I didn't want to go Burks, though, because Burks and Chase had the same bye week. That's why I went with Pickens instead in the Puppy 30. So, but back to Burks here. 54 targets, that's terrible. That should come up, though. This guy is the only guy in town. He's the only guy in town. Woods left, went to Houston. They got Phillips. Phillips isn't really an outside guy, though. He's going to play the slot most of the time. Nick Westbrook-Ikeen, he's not really going to command too much targets. Look, Woods is gone. I want to look and see exactly how many targets Woods had. Woods had 53 targets. Or no, he had 53 catches on 91 targets. So he had one less. How many catches did Burks have here? Let me look at Burks real quick. I know Burks had some injury in a couple of games this year. He missed a few games with injury, obviously. He missed week 5, 7, 8, 9, and then he missed 14 and 15. I know that's a concern. I think he had the concussion, right? He had the concussion early on, and then I don't know if he I don't know if he got a concussion again or not. That week 14 and 15. I have to look. But his snap percentages were down. 37%, 45, 69, 65, 56, 50, 67, 18, 82. Look, 82, 72, and 75 the last 3 weeks. So that's a positive. That's a positive sign. That's higher than, all 3 of those are higher than any other week before that, as far as snap percentages go. So he's going to get to work moving forward. Woods is out of town. They didn't replace him with anybody that I know of, at least that's any good. This is the number 1 guy on the team. This guy is, you know, Treylon Burks is going to have a lot more targets this year, a lot more catches. His target share was still 17.6%. That's still pretty good. That's about right where Pickens was. That's about right where George Pickens was. This is 45th best in the league, so not the greatest, but this was right where Pickens was. Even though he didn't play, even though he had some injury and he missed a few games, and really his snap percentages were not good at all until week 16, 17, and 18. This guy's the guy going forward. This guy is, he's going to be the A.J. Brown of the Tennessee Titans whenever A.J. Brown was there. There's nothing that's taken away from his targets coming this year unless he gets injured. He's going to get the targets. This is going to double. His targets are going to double. Woods had 91 targets. So there's 91 targets out there for somebody. I would say at least 50, maybe 60 of them go to this guy. So you're looking at 110 targets, 115 targets this year. Look for him to maybe have a similar season to maybe what London had last year, which that's not bad if he's your number. If he's your number 3 receiver, that's not bad. If he can get 110 targets, 115 targets, and about 70 catches, and about 800 yards, producing similarly to London, to Olave last year, that's really good for a number three receiver. So the deep targets maybe won't be there as much. He is not. I mean, he can run the seam route, but they're not going to use him like that for the most part. I don't think they're going to have him on the outside, and they're just going to try to get, you know, post, in routes, out routes, you know, dig routes, He's gonna run a vertical route every now and then, but it's not gonna be like Olave. It's not gonna be like Pickens. So he is the number one guy on the team now. Target quality rating, it's not terrible. That's top 10. That's decent. You know, a lot of these numbers are going to be skewed in a negative way because of all the games he missed. So unrealized air yards, though, he's top 20. So maybe if Tannehill plays a little better this year, which I don't see that happening, but we never know. Will Levis could come in, and maybe Will Levis just has a connection with this guy immediately. It's very possible. Very possible. His fantasy points per game is not bad though. It's 10. Of course, that's like full PPR. That's got to be full PPR. There's no way that's half PPR. So let's move on though. Look, I don't have a whole lot to say on him other than the fact that you're gonna have to take a risk on him, but at the same time, the volume is gonna be there for him. The volume's gonna be there for him. Okay, it's gonna be there. He's the only guy in town. There's nobody else. Do I worry about injury to a degree because of the concussion last year? Of course, but you know, hopefully he can. Really, I kind of put it on his quarterback. If he catches one over the middle and gets blown up, it's on his quarterback. So, but which I don't trust his quarterback too much. I mean, Tannehill's not the greatest, and we don't know what Will Levis is going to be. So, all right, let's dive into these running backs. I'm going to try to get through these guys a little quicker. Stevenson. So we got Stevenson on this team. We have Ramondre Stevenson on this team. We got him in the 3rd round. Like I said, we waited on Burrow to round 4. We ended up snagging Burrow in round 4. I almost can't even believe it. I can't even believe I got Burrow at 47. Those guys are gonna regret letting me do that. I promise you. They're gonna regret it. I went Stevenson. I was debating Breece Hall. I was debating you know, Jacobs and Henry were there. I could have taken either of them. I really could have taken just about anybody. I don't think Chubb was there. I wasn't going to take Chubb anyways, but Etienne was there, obviously. So was Gibbs. So was Harris, obviously. I had my pick of just about anybody at running back here. I went with Stevenson, and I'm going to show you exactly why here. Let's look at his opportunity. Snap share. He was top 12 in the league. Top 12 in the league at snap share at running back. 65.1%. That's pretty good. It's going to get better now that Damian Harris is gone. Okay. Damian Harris is in Buffalo. They do have James Robinson, but I don't really care about J-Rob that much. I really don't care about him. I don't think he does anything. He doesn't do anything to, you know, make me worry about Stevenson. Opportunity share. Top 16. That's basically the opportunities he is afforded via the passing game or the run game. So we're talking rushing attempts and targets. That's what the opportunity share is. It's basically combining those. For those of you that don't know what opportunity share means, how many opportunities is he getting the ball in his hands, basically, or having a chance to get the ball in his hands? So out of all the running backs, you know, this could be a little higher, but top 16 is not bad. I mean, he was a running back 2 last year, so this is running back 2 territory. This is going to get better now that Harris is gone. Weighted opportunities. Okay, weighted opportunities. This is top 10, almost top 5. Hold on, I'm waiting for this thing to pull up here. Weighted opportunities. It recalibrates total opportunities by discounting carries and adding a multiplier to targets based on the average fantasy points generated by each type of touch. So the reason why, so it's weighted higher because he catches the ball so much. Okay, they're putting more weight. Like his weighted opportunities are better than 16th, which is what his opportunity share was. It's better than that because of how many catches he had last year. He had 69 catches. It's weighted higher because in fantasy football, you're getting an extra point for a catch. At least in PPR, you're getting a half a point and half PPR. That matters though compared to the running backs out there like Nick Chubb, who are only catching 23 balls a year on average. So that matters. We'd like to see his team run plays per game higher. You know, when you're playing from behind though, that's the thing. These guys were playing from behind a little bit in some games, so they're going to throw the ball a little more, but it doesn't matter because he catches the ball out of the backfield. Carries, he's still at 210. That's still top 20. That's still pretty good. Targets, third best in the league at running back, 89 targets. This guy's a receiving monster. Red zone touches, top 15, 6 goal lines out of the 38. Expect this to increase now that Harris is gone. Expect it to increase now that Harris is gone. Stevenson's also a big back. This is what's crazy about Stevenson. He's a big back, and he can catch the ball really good. And he commands a lot of catches and targets, obviously. I mean, it's right here on screen for you. But he's a big back. He's 231, 232 pound back. About 6 foot. He's like, he's very similar to Najee. He's very similar in build to Najee Harris. You know, his air yard share, we don't really care too much about this at running back position. This means, because this is air yardage, this is how far down the field is the ball being thrown to him. We don't care as long as the ball is being thrown to him. It could be thrown to him at the line of scrimmage for all I care. I just want him to catch the ball. He doesn't need to run a seam route to get the ball. That's what receivers do. He's a running back. So we don't care about this really. His average depth of target, like I said, we don't care about that. This is, who cares? Deep targets, we don't care. I just have this on there to show you guys, but I know this could be better, but really, who cares? We just want him to catch the ball. He can catch it 5 yards out of the backfield, you know, a 10-yard catch out of the backfield. He can catch a screen pass. I don't care as long as he catches it, right? That's all we want. If he catches it, guess what? You know, if he catches one behind the line of scrimmage, it's the same amount of points as if he catches it down the field. So, all right, this is going to surprise you guys right here. We're going to jump into his advanced receiving and his efficiency. So we don't have the productivity. We got advanced receiving for these running backs. I mean, I could pull out the productivity, but the advanced receiving is more valuable. Efficiency, top 20 in yards per carry. That's pretty decent considering, you know, they don't run the ball as much as some of these other teams. Juke rate, he's top 5. He's top 3, really. 40.5%. You know, juke rate it's basically evaded tackles per touch. So every time he touches the ball, what is the percent likelihood of him evading a tackle? At least one tackle. It's top 3 in the league. You know why? Because he's got really good feet and he's 232 pounds. So he's able to evade tackles. He's able to break tackles and evade them. So he's also, look, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's a big, strong guy he's a lot quicker on tape, you know, or really in real life than what he was, you know, on tape. Put it that way. He's a lot quicker than what he looks like. So, and he's a big, strong guy. I mean, he's one of the bigger backs in the NFL. He's hard to bring down. So, evaded tackles, it's really the same thing. The juke rate is the percentage of evaded tackles. The evaded tackles is the total number of evaded tackles. That's why they're the same. Breakaway run rate. This is actually pretty good. The fact that he's top 13 is really good. Like I said, he's not the fastest guy. His pro day 40 was a 4.46. He's not the fastest running back in the league. Breakaway runs, he's almost top 5. He finds a way, man. He finds a way. Let's get to the advanced receiving, because this is really important, especially if you're in a like receiving back league. You know, like I know there's a league. I'm not going to be in it this year, but we have a league up in Excelsior here in Kansas City that there's double points for out of position scoring. So if a running back catches a ball, it's double points. If a receiver rushes one, gets a rushing touchdown, it's double points. Same thing, and then for running backs, it's like a reception touchdown. So this guy would be really good in those leagues. Target share out of the running backs, anything about 15% or higher is really good as far as the running backs go. He's 17.3, he's top 5. Routes ran at the running back position, 311, almost top 5. Route participation, almost top 5. His yards per reception is down, but he's a running back. And he's a receiving back, but he's really a between the tackle running back first. But he can catch it as well. So, we hopefully his yards per reception goes up, but as long as he's getting the volume, it doesn't really matter. Catch rate, this could get better. He had the second most drops, obviously, over here. He was number 2. He had 6 drops. His catch rate's a little down. Like I said, though, this is gonna happen when you get the volume. Guys who have the most drops and who have a lower catch rate are usually the guys who are receiving more targets their way. If you get a guy who only gets 15 targets and he caught all 15 of them, of course he's going to have a higher catch rate than somebody like Stevenson, who had 89 targets and he caught 69 of those. Because there's more opportunities for Stevenson to drop the ball. So, not too worried about it. This guy is top 3 in evaded tackles. He's top 4 in target share at the running back position. Routes ran, he's almost top 5. You need a receiving back, this is your guy. He also still got 210 carries. You could see 230, 240 this year. Maybe even a little more. Maybe close to 250 now that Damian Harris is gone. We'll see how much they use James Robinson. But give me this guy in the 3rd round all day. I got this guy in the 3rd round. And I still got Burrow and Chase. Still got Burrow and Chase. You know what that is? That's highway robbery. That's what that is. We'll take you back to it so you guys can look at it. I know you guys can't believe it.
Robbery in progress.
But I snipped this off the website, so this is authentic. This isn't like fake or anything. I have this team. I have all 4 of these teams. And the fact that I got Burrow in round 4 is nuts. Because it was the very end of round 4. Our next running back, we're going to go over here. We got him on one of our teams. You probably already guessed it, Breece Hall. Let's look at his opportunity shares here. Obviously, we know he went down with the injury week 7 in Denver. Super unfortunate, obviously. This guy was on pace, though. I'm going to show you. This guy was on pace to be like maybe the number 1 running back last year. He was on pace. I think when he went down, he was like number 2 in fantasy at the time. The only person that was ahead of him was Chubb. And then Chubb fell off after week 8. But this guy was on his way. Now we got Brees Hall, the puppy 20. We got Brees Hall as our first running back in the puppy 20 here. You know, I'm really hoping this guy returns to form. If he does, we could be in for a big year. He's also in my sleeper league. I'm going to keep him. He's one of my keepers this year in my auction league as well. So him and Olave are two of my keepers. I'm not sure about my other keeper. I might keep him. I might not. We'll see. We'll see. You know, the numbers aren't going to be the greatest because he missed time. So, his expected fantasy points versus what his fantasy points were per game, he was on his way to, like, he was plus differential. So that's good. I would like to see what this red zone touches was based off of the games he played. It's obviously 45th best because he missed over half the year. So, rush yards. Look, he almost finished top 40, and he only played 7 games. Really, he only played about 4 games because the first 3 games he didn't get a whole lot of work. Let me pull up Hall real quick here. We can go over his snap percentages. He played 45% of the snaps week 1, 27 week 2, and then week 3, 51, week 4, 66, 69, 67. He was probably on his way to well over 70% of the snaps until he got hurt. Week 7. And he already had 4 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. Oh, by the way, he was averaging, whenever he went down, he was averaging 5.79 yards a carry. Let's just call it 5.8 yards a carry. That is elite. That's more than elite. That's like best in the league. Granted, that could have came down a little bit, but it was going to be a 5.5 yards per carry back. And he was 5.8 when he went down. He already had 4 touchdowns on the ground and 1 receiving. And he almost had 2. He missed that one that was like a 98-yarder that he almost took all the way. I really want to show you his efficiency and his advanced receiving. Because this is what will make him stick out. I know his opportunities. Look, he missed a bunch of times, so his numbers are going to be down. They're not going to look good on paper. Yards per carry. So he was 5.8 yards, like I said, which is what I just read off. His true yards per carry was 5.3. He was still 3rd best in the league. True yards per carry basically takes away the big yard plays. So I think it's like carries that are greater than 10 yards. They factor that out, okay? They factor out runs that are greater than 10, and they try to come up with a more consistent number. What is he consistently running, like, that's between 1 and 10 yards? So his true yards per carry is 5.3. That's still really good. That means they took out, like, all of his big runs. They took all his big runs out, and he's still over 5 yards a carry. Yards per touch, #1 in the league at the running back position. This guy is look, Brees Hall is an explosion just waiting to happen when he gets the ball in his hand. We seen it on tape last year. We seen it at Iowa State, and then we seen it last year on tape for 7 games until he went down with the ACL. Every time he got the ball, you were holding your breath. Every time I watched this guy every single time he caught a pass or every time he took a run, you just sit there and hold your breath because you don't know if he's going to take it to the house or not. You don't know if he's making a house call. More often than not, he was flirting with it, or he was making a house call, and he was just running by guys, making guys look silly in the open field. That's what this guy does. Juke rate, #1 in the league. I can't stress it enough. This guy, if this guy didn't go down with injury, he was gonna be the best running back in the league, and it wasn't gonna be close. It really wasn't gonna be close. Evaded tackles, he had 50 in 7 games. I mean, what Stevenson had like 113, but he played every single game. This guy played 7 games. He had 50 already. Breakaway run rate, 2nd best in the league. I mean, I can't stop laughing because it's just so funny. It's so funny. I got this guy on so many teams, and people are like, oh, well, he's coming off the ACL. I don't know if I should take him. He's ahead of schedule. The reports are coming out that he's good to go. He's going to be good to go. This guy's only 21 years old still. If Derrick Henry tore his ACL tomorrow, I would be stupid worried. I'd be freaking out if I was a Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's going to be 30 this year. This guy had a clean ACL tear. No meniscus, no MCL, no LCL to go with it. Remember, Javonte has the ACL and the MCL, if I'm correct. He's got a multiple knee injury. Brees just had the clean ACL. The MCL and the LCL are on the side of the knee. The ACL is on the top of the knee. The clean ACL is cleaner. It's easier to recover from, and it's actually easier to recover from if you're younger, obviously. And it also helps if the doctor obviously does a good job, which in this case they had to have, because he's ahead of schedule. If they're ahead of schedule from a clean ACL, obviously there's some worry. You can worry about it, but it's not. I would worry more about Javonte than I do this guy. Like, I worry right now, as of today, more about Javonte than I do Hall. And they're saying Javonte is going to be ready for minicamp. So I'm not worried about Hall at all. This guy, look, Brees Hall, look at this. You see the true yards per carry, the yards per carry, the yards per touch, the juke rate, the evaded tackles, the breakaway run rate. Everything else doesn't really matter because he missed 10 games. So his numbers are going to be down. But these signs right here, the yards per touch, the breakaway run rate, the evaded tackles, that's a telltale sign that this guy is all pro. He's all pro. And if he comes back to form, now if Aaron Rodgers in town, do I worry that Aaron Rodgers is there? No, because Aaron Rodgers can get the ball to his running backs, and this guy will thrive at that. Brees Hall will thrive at that. He's going to get the run work as well. And really, it doesn't matter how much run work he gets. Do I think he comes back and gets 250 carries? No. I think he's in the ballpark of 200 to 220 maybe. 200 to 210. But he's so efficient with his touches, it doesn't matter. I worry about a guy that's only getting 200 carries if he's averaging 3 yards per carry. That's not this guy. This guy he's the most efficient running back in the league. I just showed you. So don't be afraid to go get Brees Hall. You're getting this guy at a discount this year because of the injury. He's going in the top 3. If he would not have gotten injured last year, we're talking about Jefferson, Chase, and Brees Hall, and I guess Bijan, because Bijan's kind of in that conversation. Those guys are all guys that you're considering for a top 5 pick. He would be right there with McCaffrey if he didn't get hurt. All right, our next guy, Rachaad White. We got Rachaad White on like every team here. I know it's a little bit of a reach. I wouldn't say it's a reach. I took him most of the time at his ADP. I think I reached on him one time. He is on every single team though, because the value is just too much for me to pass up on. You kind of have to go with him anyways, because in order to pull this thing off, to go get Burrow, to go get Chase, and then get either Stevenson and Smith like I did in this draft over here. You have to go get Rachaad White late in the 7th round or in the middle of the 7th round.
Robbery in progress.
I don't mind him as an RB2. I know some people might freak out. I got him as an RB3 here, RB2, RB2. I mean, he's an RB2, but you know, he sat behind Leonard Fournette last year for the most part. He still caught 50 balls. He still caught 50. This is why I like this guy so much. This is why I like Rachaad White so much, because he's able to catch the ball. And now he's going to get the full workload at RB1 on the team. Leonard Fournette's out of town. Rachaad White is the man. He's officially the man in Tampa Bay. And the value on Rachaad White in round 7 is just too high for me to pass up on. It's too high for me to pass up on. We go over his opportunity shares. It's not going to be the greatest because of Leonard Fournette, but he was top 12 in targets at running back last year. Top 12. He's going to be flirting with top 5 this year if he stays healthy. This is one of the best pass catching backs in the NFL right now. He's top 10. He's top 10 at least. You know, the rushing yards just under 500, receiving yards under, but the receiving yards can get better, okay? 50 catches and under 300 receiving yards isn't the greatest, but he only had so many opportunities. I do think you're going to see, look, Brady threw the ball down the field more than just about any quarterback over the last 2 years. Brady's not there anymore. Baker Mayfield is. I expect Baker to dump the ball a little more often than people think, especially more often than Brady. 50 receptions you see right here on screen. It's top 12. It's top 12. It's going to be top 10 more than likely. He's going to be in that Ramondre category where he's catching about 70 to 80 balls this year, I expect. It's easily achievable. Anything, if he gets to 90, I'll be shocked, but I wouldn't be out of the question. I'd say about 70 to 80 sounds about right. Look, these aren't the greatest numbers. I understand that, but you got to understand, this guy was playing behind Leonard Fournette for the whole year, basically, and Leonard Fournette would just not go away. He wouldn't just go away. But Rachaad White was a guy you just had to sit and wait on for this year. And if you could sit and wait on him, then you're going to cash in this year, in my opinion. Look, whenever Leonard Fournette didn't play, remember that game against Cleveland? Rachaad White had 90% of the snaps. That was week 12. Trying to think what happened in that Seattle game week 10. He only played 64% of the snaps, but he did get 22 totes of the rock for 105 yards. Leonard Fournette was just in the way of this guy. He played 50 there, 53, 50, 39%, 41%, 43, 38, 39% of the snaps, 35, 64. He's going to be in that 80% of the snap ballpark range. I don't expect Edmonds to really get a whole lot of work behind this guy at all. Rachaad White is the man in Tampa Bay. He's one of our sleepers because he's going in round 7. I think he should be going higher than that. You're talking about a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a 215-pound back also. He's not a small guy. He's not like a 200-pound back. So I don't worry about injury because he's got that weight on him. And he's a really good pass catcher. 50 catches on 58 targets. That's pretty good considering all things and the circumstances last year. Let's pull up his advanced receiving, his efficiency. You know, the target share, that's going to be 15% this year, which we can go back to it, you know, down here in the advanced receiving on the left side, target share. That's an important one. That's going to be 15%, which is really good. Stevenson's was like 17, which was third best in the league last year. His is going to be about 15 this year. I guarantee it. As long as he stays healthy. Yeah, I think, you know, Leonard Fournette got a lot of passes. You know, he got a handful. And Brady was on the team. Brady was throwing the ball down the field. This is different now that Baker Mayfield's in town. So yards per touch, that needs to get up. His yards per carry, his true yards per carry needs to get up. I mean, I kind of attribute that to the offensive line. The offensive line is in a rebuild mode, really. They're probably not the greatest this year either, but I'm trying to think. I believe, did they go out and get an offensive lineman in the draft? I think they did. His evaded tackles could come up. Look, that's gonna come up though. The more opportunities he gets. He only rushed the ball for 129 times. Leonard Fournette. Let's pull up Leonard Fournette real quick. So he got 129 attempts at running the ball. Fournette. Why is this not showing? My thing's bugged out. Let me do the math on this real quick. Oh, here you go. It came up. Leonard Fournette ran the ball 189 times. So there's 189 carries out there. Basically 200 carries, really. He ran the ball 129. He's going to get 230, 250 carries this year. Pending health. 230 to 250. That's what he's going to get this year. He's got the workload, man. You know, is he going to produce as well as we like to? Maybe not, because the offensive line isn't the greatest. But that's why he's our second running back, and then that's why we got the next guy coming up that we're going to go over, Kamara, behind him. I went and got Kamara. I got Kamara at the beginning of round 9 here of this Puppy 30, which is just ludicrous. It's just ludicrous. I got Kamara. Kamara's our next guy, though. We also got Kamara.
Robbery in progress.
We also got Kamara on the Puppy 20 here as well as our third running back. I'm telling you, man. Don't get me wrong. I've been low on Kamara just because of the suspension issue. If he gets suspended or not, we don't know. But here he is. This guy, I don't think this guy's going to get suspended, man. I'm like done worried about it. They're not going to suspend him in-house. The NFL is clearly not going to suspend him. At least I don't think. They might be waiting for this criminal suit to be gone, but they could have suspended him last year when the video came out. They could have been like, hey, we're gonna put you on paid leave until this gets resolved. We know the video just came out. It looks bad. It's not looking like a very good image for the NFL. Yada yada. So we're just gonna send you home. You know, we're gonna wait for matters to be resolved in the legal system until, you know, we bring you back. Yada. They didn't do that. They did not do that. He played the rest of the game, or he played the rest of the year. He played the rest of the year. He finished the year out. No problems, no questions asked. I mean, and this guy in round number 9 is just, it's too much value. If they do drop the hammer on him, it's going to be like a 2-game or a 4-game suspension, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be any more than that. You might see 6. But even at 6, look, the 4-game and the 6-game suspension, whatever it is, we'll see what it is. Maybe it's 8. Who knows? Maybe it's no suspension at all. We don't even know he's going to get suspended. It doesn't matter, though. Look, if he doesn't get suspended and you drafted him in round 9, you stole this guy. even if he gets a 6-gamer or a 4-gamer, in round 9, it's already baked into his value. It's baked in. You can't lose money. No way. You can't lose on this guy, right? If you draft a guy in the first 2 rounds and he gets suspended, okay, you're losing out on six games or 4 games or whatever it is on a guy who is drafted as your number 1 running back. This guy's being drafted as some people's number 4. In my case, it's a number 3 because I'm trying to build a super team, which I managed to do, actually. You know, we can go back and look at. I know it's fun to look at. You know, when you build a super team like this, he's going to be your 3rd. Because I'm trying to get the best receivers I can, on top of having a quarterback in round 4, and then 2 really good receivers and a good running back. So, and a good tight end. I went and got a good tight end as well. But this guy, Alvin Kamara, I don't even know if he's going to get suspended. And if he doesn't, or even if he doesn't, it's a 2 or 4 game, it doesn't matter because I got him in round 9. I still stole this guy. And let's go over the metrics. This was last year, by the way. This is last year. And I know they got Miller and I know they got Jamal Williams, but this running back here, Alvin Kamara, is still going to be the go-to guy in the receiving game and really between the tackles as well. Definitely in the receiving game. He's still going to, he's still going to have the workload in the receiving department, which is really what matters. Snap share. He's the number 1 running back. He played the most snap share percentage of any running back last year. Opportunity share, top 5. Weighted opportunities. Remember, that's with the carries and the target share, or the opportunity share as far as targets goes. Top 7. Carries, top 12. Still had 223 carries last year. That's about 15 a game. That's pretty good for a number 1 running. That's pretty good for a number 3 running back on your team, right? Which is what I got him at. I mean, oh my goodness. Targets, top 5. Red zone touches, that could be a little better, but he's a big play guy. It's gonna probably, his red zone touches are gonna probably stay roughly where they were at last year. Jamal Williams can run between the tackles. He can run and command opportunities inside the red zone as well. So that number we'd like to see be a little better, but it's not terrible. Rush yards, top 20 in the league. He almost ran for 1,000. Ran for almost 900. Receiving yards, top 5, almost 500. Receptions, top 10. If this guy doesn't get suspended, this is highway robbery. I'll play it again. It's highway robbery.
Robbery in progress.
Highway robbery. Not just robberies, highway robbery. If he does not get suspended, or even if it's only a 2 or 4 game, you're still getting him in round 9. Efficiency and advanced receiving. So true yards per carry, he was 4 yards per carry, true yards per carry is 4. So that could get better, but I believe they went and got a piece or 2 on the offensive line. Juke rate, that could be better. Evaded tackles could be better. But the volume is going to be there regardless, okay? He might be slowing down a little bit. He could be slowing down a little bit. We'll see. The offense was kind of in shambles last year for these guys. For the Saints, I really put that on Andy Dalton. I think the Saints offense gets a little better this year. Olave makes, he takes a step forward. If Kamara's still there and he doesn't get suspended, I mean, I would find hard to believe that would happen, but crazier things have happened, right, over the years. Target share. He's better. Is this like this? He's better than Ramondre. Ramondre was Ramondre 3 or 4? They're really close. Look, he's top 3. 18.2%. That's stupid good. Routes ran, he's top 12 at the running back position. Route participation, 2nd in the league. Yards per reception, top 10. Yards per route run, top 10. I mean, if this guy doesn't get suspended, if Alvin Kamara doesn't get a 2 or a 4, really he should get about half a year, in my opinion, if you want my opinion on it. But I don't care. If he doesn't get suspended, I'm gonna reap the benefits from him not getting suspended, or if he only gets like a 2-gamer. Everybody else that passes on this guy and they let me draft him in round 9, you know, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. They're having delusions for passing on him. And you know what that means?
Good. More for me and you.
More for me and you. Having Kamara as an RB3 and maybe no suspension it's cashing in. It's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yep.
All right. Let's cover these two. Well, we got 3 tight ends. Pitts is on one of my teams also with this with one of these teams here. I believe it's actually 2 teams. I got him on the puppy 30 and the 11. This guy's gonna he's gonna surprise you here. I didn't get the other advanced metrics up. I just have the opportunity shares here. I didn't get the efficiency and the catch productivity out, but it's just going to be the opportunity of going over Pitts, but it doesn't matter. You can see air yards, number 1 at tight end. A dot, number 2. Deep targets, number 1. Total air yards, top 5. The target quality rating is what was holding this guy back last year. Okay. Ritter needs to play better this year. He needs to. I know Ritter was only in for like the kind of the latter half of the season, towards the end of the season, but Ritter needs to step his game up this year if you're a Kyle Pitts owner. He's gonna get the volume. And I know he missed, towards the end of the year with injury. I mean, I didn't own him really, and I didn't own him in my main league, so I understand. Look, I know if you had this guy last year, you were not happy, to say the least. But they have to get this guy more involved this year, and I believe they do. That's why I've been taking a chance on him in some of these best ball underdog drafts. I haven't taken them every time. I do have some Hawkinson, and I do have a lot of Fryer Move and some other guys, but I do have a couple shares of this guy as well. The target share on the team is there. It's 27.3%. That's 2nd best out of all the tight ends. So he's getting the targets. The target rate, number 1. I mean, he still finished top 24 in targets at tight end. And he missed week 12 and on. I know people are worried about this guy. Or they were worried about after what happened last year. But you got to have a short-term memory. You got to let that go. I think you take a chance on this guy. I think he rebounds. I don't know for sure, obviously. But I'm going to take the chance. Because if he turns out to be... Look, this guy is one of the best athletes we've ever seen at tight end. Ever. He's one of the best tight ends we've ever seen. as far as I mean, he ran 4.49 40 4.44 at his pro day. He's got 99 percentile speed score. He's got really good catch radius. He's got really good burst. Not the greatest burst, but he's got a 99 percentile speed score at tight end. It's 123.1. If it's 115 or higher, it's considered extraordinary according to the metrics. So I don't have his efficiency and productivity, but that doesn't matter. He missed, I know he missed some time last year. Plus his quarterback play just wasn't the greatest. I didn't think he was going to have a good year with Mariota at quarterback. Ritter's more of a passing quarterback. Hopefully Ritter can just get the guy the ball, you know, just get it to him. Our next guy is Pat Freiermuth. We have him on like every team. We have him like every one of these teams almost. We got him here on the 20. We got him on 20. Actually, we just have him on 20. I do have this guy on a lot of other teams though. Okay. This is like the only team I got him, but I do have him on a lot of my other teams that I drafted. I obviously did not change those. Oh, that's why, because I don't have them. All right, Pat Freiermuth. Let's take these off. Here we go. Did this not change? All right, let's go over his efficiency and his productivity. I don't think I have his opportunities on here, but we can see how efficient he was, what his productivity was. 6 most receptions at tight end. That's pretty good. This is down here in the productivity. Receiving yards, top 6 again. Yards after the catch, top 10. That's not bad. He's not the fastest guy in the world. I think he runs like a 4.740. And then his touchdowns, he only had 2. So if he can catch more touchdowns this year, this guy can be a problem. We need Pickett to play a little better. We need Pickett to pick his game up a little bit. I believe that happens. I'm high on Pittsburgh this year. I think. Look, I don't think they win the division. That's obviously going to be the Bengals. But I think their offense picks it up this year. I think Najee has a better year. I think Freiermuth has a better year, really. Freiermuth's been pretty consistent. I think Pickett, though, and Pickens play better. You know, they take their game to another level. Najee, they went out and got a couple pieces on the offensive line for Harris. I think Harris plays well. I think Pittsburgh's offense in general picks it up this year. They're going to have to compete in that division. Unrealized air yards. He was top 5. We're not surprised by that. But, you know, yards per route run, he was top 10. You'd like to see yards per target down the field a little more, but it's top 20. It's not terrible. Look, if Pickett can pick his play up, his receptions, he could sneak into this guy can sneak into the top 5 receiving yards and reception wise, really fantasy wise in general. He can sneak into the top 5. And that's why I like this guy. And you're going to get him. His ADP is like 108, 107. You're going to get this guy. You're going to get Pat Freiermuth after Njoku, after Ingram, after Waller, after all those guys. You can really get him as your number 2 tight end if you want to. I mean, I got him right here. I got Pitts, Cole Kmet, Dulcich. I could have had Freiermuth in this draft. I got Hawkinson and Freiermuth and Cole Kmet in the puppy 20. And I still got Chase London, Breece Hall, Joe Burrow. It's not like I gave... I mean, yeah, I mean, I may have passed on who? I passed on another quarterback, maybe not even, because Cousins fell to me at 119. That was this draft was crazy right here. This puppy 20 was crazy. I still got Cousins at 119, 20 spots after his ADP. But I mean, I passed on quarterback to go get Freiermuth, and I still got quarterback. I still got Cousins as my number 2 guy. I don't know what these people were thinking in this draft, but you can get Freiermuth as your second tight end. I did it right here. I got Hawkinson and Freiermuth. So that's what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. Freiermuth is a... Wait, what are we showing that? Freiermuth is kind of a sleeper, in my opinion. He's kind of a sleeper. All right, Hawkinson's our next guy. Let's hope these are the right ones. Okay, these are. Opportunity for Hawkinson. 129 targets, dude. Whenever he got traded to Minnesota, he went ballistic. Second most targets by tight end. The only one that was better was obviously Kelsey. Target share, top 5, 20.5%. That's pretty good. It's pretty good for a tight end. 25 would be really good. That's like using him as a receiver at that point instead of a tight end. But target rate, top 10. Snap percentage, top 5. This is one of our nuclear players, by the way. I haven't got to him quite yet, and we'll get to maybe 2 guys either tonight or tomorrow, depending if I go into work tonight. Routes ran, top 2. Kelsey was the only one that was better, I'm pretty sure. Air yards, top 3. Air yard share, top 10. Go get this guy in round... I know he's going like in round 5. I think I got him in round 5 in the one draft. I wish he was going a little later, but Hawkinson is a nuclear player. He's gonna be on the nuclear player list. He's already on the list. I just haven't revealed him to you guys yet. But you pair him up with Freiermuth and Cole Kmet like I did. It's a really good tight end room, and I like this guy going forward. The Vikings are going to throw the ball. They're just going to sling it to Jefferson, to Hawkinson, to Addison. They're going to sling it as much as anybody in the league. And that's why I like taking this chance on Hawkinson. So this is his opportunity, though. Deep targets, he was top 5. Red zone targets, he was top 3. He's a volume machine. Hawkinson is a volume machine. Let's go to his efficiency and his productivity. Target accuracy, top 5. That's good. That means Cousins is very accurate throwing the ball to him. The yards per target could be a little better, but he's got the volume, so it doesn't matter. I'm sorry if I'm yawning. I'm tired. I'm trying to get through this. I've been up all night. We will be going to bed after this. So receptions, he was number 2 in targets, number 2 in receptions, number 2 in receiving yards at tight end. Yards after the catch, top 5. Very good catch and run guy at the tight end position. Touchdowns, we hope to see a little more. I don't remember exactly how many games he got in with the Vikings. I believe it was like 9 or 10. I think he got traded like week 7 or 8 or something like that. So he played majority of his games with the Vikings. So, but we've seen how much Cousins likes this guy. So, I like Hawkinson this year. I'm high on Hawkinson this year, and that's why I took him in this draft. I thought about taking him in the puppy 30. I might regret it, but I did take him in the draft prior to this one that I had the number 1 overall pick, so I'm not too worried about it. But go get some shares of Hawkinson. Hawkinson's a very good tight end this year. He's he's gonna be on my nuclear list. So, go get him. All right, the last three guys I want to go over is Mingo, Flowers, Charlie Jones, and Chase Brown. These rookies that I drafted, I have them in like all these teams. Mingo, I have him on every single team. These number 2 overall pick teams. He's very much like Pickens, like DK, like Debo. Look, 51 catches for 861. That was very similar to what Pickens did last year with the Steelers. Target share 23.8%. He had the 23.8% target share of his team. That's pretty good. Catch rate could be a little better, but his quarterback Dart's not very good. He's gonna have a better quarterback here in Carolina. Look for him to win the starting job potentially over Marshall. Look, this alludes to, this is like 18 yards per catch right here. 51 catches on, look, he had 92 targets too. It's not like he didn't get the ball thrown to him, but his quarterback was not the greatest at Ole Miss. Okay, was not the greatest. So this is why I like this guy. And look, you get him as your 4th receiver, you get him as your 5th receiver. I got him as a really receiver 5 or 6, whichever way you slice it here in the 30, the puppy 30. I got him as a 5th receiver in 23 though, 4th receiver on 20, and 4th receiver on 11. So 4th or 5th guy is where you want this guy. 5th would be ideal, but if you get him as your 4th guy, it's not horrible, because I think he ends up producing at some point this year. So, and he could be a home run hitter. He could be a home run hitter if we hit this guy. Obviously, I liked his ADP back when it was like 150. Now it's up inside the 130, so that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Next guy is Zay Flowers. We have Zay Flowers on we took him on this last team right here. We took him on this last team, Puppy 30. He's our 4th guy. Very good receiver in my opinion. I think he's going to do big things in the NFL this year and really just going forward. 78 catches, over 1,000 yards, 29.6% target share. This guy's a target share monster. I know Odell's there and I know Andrews is there, so this maybe won't be as high in the NFL quite as early. But this guy's very dynamic. You can use him in a lot of ways. The Ravens will use him in a lot of ways. And he can, look, 27.2% target share, 27.3. Then his final year, 29.6. He can be the volume guy. He can be the Hollywood Brown that, when Hollywood Brown was here in Baltimore a few years ago. It reminds me a lot of Hollywood Brown. And I think they utilize him the same way that they utilized Hollywood Brown when Hollywood Brown was in town. So this is why I like this guy. All right, we have this guy on. Oh, look, we didn't get. This is Chase Brown out of Illinois, running back. We did not get him on this Puppy 30 team, unfortunately. I really wanted him, but we got him on the Puppy 20 and the Puppy 11. Fortunately, I would have loved to have got him here at the Puppy 30, but we got screwed. The guy sniped us or whatever. But let's get back here to Chase Brown. Let's go over him. This guy's a monster, and he plays for the Bengals. I was hoping to stack this guy, obviously, in that last draft, like I did in the other two. But you look at what he did last year at Illinois. 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, 328 totes of the rock. He can also catch the ball, 27 catches for 240. It's about 9 yards a pop almost, which is decent. His offensive line was not the greatest at Illinois either, so they did run the ball a lot though. That was kind of their play style, low scoring, beat you with the run game, run this guy, you know, at you as much as they could, and then try to beat you that way in a low-scoring affair. That's kind of how Illinois played. This guy could be a monster if Joe Mixon misses time. A monster in Cincinnati. He is already listed as the number 2 guy on the depth chart. If Mixon misses time for any reason, which is a possibility, this guy could be a steal for you. Chase Brown can be a steal for you. There's already some other people talking this guy up as well out there, so I know this guy's not super unknown. Obviously, you've heard me talk about him. I haven't really talked about him too much until today, but if you've watched any of my streams of doing these drafts, I've been drafting this guy in a bunch of my drafts. So, if you know, you know. Put it that way. But if Mixon misses any time, watch out for this guy. And people are getting this guy in round, like, what? 14? 15, maybe? So, watch out for this guy. The last guy is Charlie Jones. He's also on the Bengals. You can get this guy for free. Remember I said at the beginning of the stream, you can get this guy for free. Free 99. Free 99. I love this kid. This kid was really good at Purdue. As you can see, I took Charlie Jones in the Puppy 30 with the second to last pick of the draft. And then I took him in 11 and 20 with virtually the same thing. Pick 215. There's only 216 picks in these drafts. I took him with 215 in 3 of these drafts. Somebody, or no, I just didn't pick him in the Puppy 23. Nobody took him. I just didn't take him. But this kid, man, 1361 last year after he transferred to Purdue. 27.4% target share, 110 catches on 159 targets. I mean, you can't, these are like video game numbers. These are like video game numbers for this kid. He's very fast. He's very fast. He's a little smaller than Cooper Kupp, but he reminds me of Cooper Kupp. He's like a smaller version of Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's like a 210-pound receiver, 6'2". This guy's not quite as tall, or as, I think he's like 5'11", so he's close to 6 foot. But he's only like 190 pounds, I believe. Let me pull him up real quick right here. I actually got it right here. So here he is. This is his player profile. So here he is. These are the metrics. Look, 4.4 340. Speed score. You know, it's not the greatest. Burst score's decent. Agility score's pretty good. And the catch radius isn't bad. But his metrics don't tell the whole story. You gotta go watch the tape. You gotta go watch the tape. And he's listed behind Chase. He's really the number 4 receiver, I think, on the team. If you see an injury to Boyd, you might see this guy. If you see an injury to Higgins, you'll definitely see him, because he does play on the outside. He plays on the outside. He's 5'11", 175 pounds listed here. You know, they got him in the 4th round. This guy is very good. Charlie Jones will surprise you. If you watch him on tape, he will surprise you. You look at him, you're like, oh yeah, he can't be that good. He will surprise you with his speed. He just runs by guys. He runs by good guys down the field. He's got very good hands. He can command a big target share, as you've seen right here. 27.4%, number 1 guy on Purdue. They were just looking. Aiden O'Connell was just looking for this guy every chance he could. That was a quarterback for Purdue, by the way. Aiden O'Connell was just looking for this guy every chance he could. Charlie Jones. Where's Charlie Jones at? Oh, there he is. Okay, let's throw him the ball. Okay, drop back to pass. Where's Charlie Jones at? Where's Charlie Jones at? That's all he was thinking. Every time he dropped back to pass, he was thinking, where was Charlie Jones? So go watch the tape of this guy. You can get him for free. So if you stack Chase, you stack Burrow, maybe you get Higgins, and maybe you even get Boyd or Brown. Go get this receiver as well, Charlie Jones. Go get him as well. You can get him for free. You might as well take a chance. Who else are you going to draft at the end, you know? So those are all the players, man. Those are all the players for these 4 teams for the most part. There's a couple other players I didn't go over, but I went over the main ones for the most part. We broke down why we went out and got them, what makes them so good. I can't stress this enough, this Puppy 30 team. You get Joe Burrow in the second to last pick of the 4th round. If you have the number 2 overall pick, you can build a roster, and you can build a damn good one at that. And that's exactly what I did. I don't like to really like gloat about this as much, you know, and throw it in people's face, but I'm showing you guys what you can do with this pick potentially. I want you guys to see what you can do with this pick. I want you to try this method. If you get this pick, you might have to wait till the Puppy number 2 comes out. The Puppy 1 is full, I'm pretty sure. It is officially full. It's not on there anymore. I just checked. Just refreshed it. It's not there. Maybe you could do it on the Best Ball Mania 4, but you're going to pay $25 an entry fee to do it. So look, man, if you get the money, go spend it, I guess. That's why I did as many of the puppies as I could, because they're $5 a pop. Whereas the $25, that, you know, that can get expensive. So we will be making a video over this, though. We'll make a video over this. I'm going to try to break this down as best I can. This is what you can do from the number 2 slot in Best Ball. You might be able to do it in like a regular league as well, but we'll see. Sorry if I wasn't the greatest at talking today. I'm really tired. I need to go to bed, and I will be going to bed like right now. So I'm gonna end the stream on this, and we will catch you guys maybe Wednesday. Okay, I'm gonna take a day off from doing the broadcast, doing the live stream. We're gonna go over. We need to pump out some content tomorrow, between today and tomorrow. So I do have a video up right now over our number 2 breakdown, our second breakdown for Fantasy Best Ball. So go ahead and check that out. It's only like 30 minutes. I slimmed it down about half an hour. The first one was over an hour. This one's only 30 minutes. So go over and check me out there. Check me out on TikTok and Facebook as well. I have content on those social media sites as well. So we'll catch you guys later. Probably Wednesday. Okay, probably Wednesday. And we will see you guys then. Have a good day. I'm out of here.